start on all fours. We're going to start on the left side, keeping the left knee bent. We're going to go into full abduction and pause at the top. Drive it up and pause at the top. You'll notice that the knee never touches the ground. We're going to maintain contact on that right knee, but the left knee never touches the ground. Drive it up and pause. Drive it up and pause. Excellent. All the way up and pause. Well done. Let's go to the right side. Same thing. Drive it up. Little pause at the top. Right knee never touches the ground this time. Maintaining that 90-degree angle at the knee. Strong core. Drive it up and pause. Excellent. Drive it up. Drive it up. Good. Perfect. Let's move to the left side now. We're going to come into full hip flexion, big giant circle, and return to the starting position. Full hip flexion, all the way up, open that hip, and return to the starting position. The knee never touches the ground. We're just performing this big giant circle, as big an edge as we can. Every edge of our hip we want to try and touch into full hip flexion, opening that hip into abduction, then full extension, then return to the start. Full flexion, abduction, open it, extension, and return to the start. Excellent. Let's do the same thing on the right. Full flexion, big open, full extension, and return. Knee never touches the ground. Big giant circle. Try to get to every edge of your hip joint. Drive it up and open it. Hip extension and return. Perfect. Big drive. Open it. Extend. Return. Big drive and open. Perfect. Open that hip. Yes. Open, open, open. Extend and return. Excellent. Let's lay on your back now. We're going to work on internal hip rotation on the left side to start. I've got this dowel rod here to kind of help understand what we want to keep the femur. We're going to keep it like a flagpole straight up, and we're going to internally rotate that hip. My foot will be going out, but my hip will be rotating in. So we're turning that hip in and turning that hip in. Good job. And turning the hip in. Get to the very outer edge of your hip, using all the musculature in your hip to rotate that hip in. Turn it in. Maintain that femur like a flagpole. Perfect. Let's do the same thing on the right. Have that femur straight up and down and turn it in. Good job. All the way to that outer portion of the hip in internal hip rotation. Turning that hip in. Yes, all the way. Turn it. Beautiful. Two more. Turn it. Yes. One time. Excellent. Good. We're going to stay on our back. We're going to put our feet together like the butterfly stretch. And we're thinking about pushing our knees straight down. We're trying to open our legs as wide as we can and drive our knees down into the ground. So here we go. We're pushing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we'll stay in that position. Now I want you to think about rising your butt kind of up off the ground. We're still driving our knees down, but you're feeling your glutes contract. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now come into full extension. You got your glute max fully contracted. You're driving your knees down into the ground. Your spinal erectors are all contracting. We're maintaining this position. Hold it up. Hold it up and rest. Great job. Excellent. Now we're going to lay on our side. Both legs are straight, torso is straight, and we're just going to come up into full abduction. Drive it up and pause. Drive it up and pause. All the way into full abduction. Don't throw the leg. Contract your glute medius. It's on the side of your thigh there. Contract it up and pause the top. Perfect. Pause the top. Now you're going to bend that knee, and we're interested in the left leg. We're keeping that leg straight, and we're driving it up with our adductors, working our groin straight up. Drive it up. Perfect. Try to keep the leg as straight as possible. Try not to bend the knee. Drive it up and pause. Drive it up and pause. Perfect. Drive it up and pause. Excellent. Let's roll it over to the other side. Same thing. Both legs straight. Torso straight. We're going to work that hip into full abduction. Drive it up and pause. Yes. Excellent pace. Don't throw it. You control every degree of range of motion, and pause at the top, pause at the bottom. Feet never touch. Excellent pace. Pause that top. Drive it up and pause. Bend that knee, same thing. Right side. Full hip adduction. Contracting those groin muscles and adductors. Driving them up. Keep the legs straight. Don't bend that knee. Drive it up. Drive it up. Great job. One more. Drive it up. Yes. Good. Roll onto the other side. We're going to work the left side again. It's the exact same exercise as we did previously, except we're going to bend the knee to 90 degrees and drive it up into full abduction. Think about drawing a line from your knee straight up. We're just going to open that hip straight up, maintaining a 90-degree angle at the knee. Very good. Drive it up. Keeping the leg as flat as possible. Horizontal. Drive it up. Perfect. Pausing at the top. Bend that knee. This time we're going to turn that bottom hip into full internal hip rotation and drive it up. Turning it into rotation and straight up. So not just adducting, but internally rotated and driving it up. Perfect. Internally rotate and adduct. Adduct. Perfect. Drive it up. Excellent. Let's roll it over to the other side. The left leg will be straight. The right knee is bent to 90 degrees. Trying to maintain that lower leg horizontally. Drive that hip up and pause. Opening that hip up and pause. Up and pause. Good. Knee never touches. You're maintaining every degree of range of motion. You're in control. Up and pause. Up and pause. Good job. Keep it knee bent. Roll it over. Internally rotate that hip and drive it up. Internally rotate the hip. Full adduction. Working those groin muscles. Turn the hip in and drive it up. Pausing at the top. Drive it up. Pause at the top. Excellent. Laying on your back. Good job. You're going to bridge up. The right leg's going to come off the ground. Left leg's maintaining that position and full hip flexion. We're fully extended and fully flexing that right hip. The foot never touches the ground. Perfect. Full hip flexion. Other side, maintain the flexion on the right. And drive it up. Left. Drive it all the way up, maintaining that full hip extension on the right. Drive it up, maintain that position. Excellent. One more. Beautiful. Laying on your stomach now, this is the final exercise. So stay with me. It's the most difficult of all of them. You're going to lay completely flat, trying to keep your pelvis attached to the ground. You're going to make your hands flat like this. Put your head down. Try to keep your pelvis attached and go up into full hip flexion. Try to stay connected to the ground and fully flex that hip. You notice on the bottom picture, my knee never touches the ground. The leg is just hovering, maybe an inch off the ground the whole time. It's a very difficult exercise. Drive it up. Drive that hip up, hovering across the ground. Drive it up. Beautiful. Let's go to the right side. Same thing. Stay connected and fully hip flex all the way up and pause. Try to keep connection with the ground with your pelvis. Drive it all the way up. Knee hovering along the ground. Pause it at the top and back to the start. Drive it up and back to the start. Up and back. Great job. Drive it up. Excellent. Well done. I love it. Great job.